Let's just go with it.
Okay.
Hi, Constantine. Welcome to the 11th episode of Xuxu podcast, almost a year already. Before you introduce anything about yourself, do you remember your first day in Prague?
Yes, actually, I do remember it. I arrived in Prague quite late at night, so I immediately went to a friend's place to like spend the night there. The next morning, my first day started, and my friend actually took me to some office in the city center to apply for my Lítačka card.
Okay.
Okay. And the strong memory from that day, it's not about applying for the Lítačka card. It's just that it was -4, -5 degrees because it was already October, beginning of October. And I remember in my mind the thought like, did I do wrong that I moved to Czech Republic? Because like in Greece, when I left, it was almost 20 degrees. So yeah.
Okay. And so it was your first time ever in the Czech Republic?
Not really. First time that I visited Czech Republic, it was back in 2007. It was a high school 1 week trip in Prague.
Nice.
And then it was again April of 2018 that I actually visited my friend for 4 days to check out Prague because I was considering like moving here. So it was these 2 times first.
Okay. And so then you moved here in which year?
It was October of 2018.
Okay. Nice. So now it's been
7 full years.
nice. I arrived November 2018. So yeah, like at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. So what convinced you to move here? Like, what were your criteria to move somewhere, if any?
Well, let's say that in 2018, I was really fed up with Greece and I really was thinking I have to move out. I have to go somewhere else and start working there. I had this really good friend who was already living in Prague, and all of the time he was telling me, you have to move to Czech Republic. Like, I can refer you, you will get a job it's gonna be easy for you here because my background is IT. So considering that, like, I came on April to visit him, and already from the first day, like, I fall in love with Prague. And 3 days later, I was back in Greece, and in my mind, it was like, okay, I have to finish some business here, but around August, I will start applying to move to Prague. So that actually happened, yeah.
Crazy. And your friend is from Greece, right?
Yeah, it's a friend that I already knew from Greece, from Corfu, yeah.
Okay. And do you have any other Greek friends that live abroad, like in other countries, or?
Back at that moment, I don't think so, but right now, yeah, like I have quite a few friends living all around Europe, I would say.
So do you think if that friend back in the time lived, like, for example, in Germany or in Switzerland, you would have gone there, or is it something special about Prague?
Well, I cannot really say, like, even for Prague, I wasn't convinced until I visited him here. Now, like, I can give you for an example, like when I announced to my father that, I'm moving to Czech Republic, his reaction was like, did you consider going to Sweden? And I'm like, no, you go to Sweden if you think that's great of an idea. Because, okay, I had in my mind some limitations of some countries due to weather, due to some things like that, let's say. Yeah.
Okay. And why your dad especially talked about Sweden, do you know?
Okay. It's a typical mindset that, okay, in Sweden, the country is very organized, you're going to have a great job, a great salary, and all this stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. And was it your first time, like, living abroad for like a long time?
Yeah, before I was just living in Greece. Yeah.
So do you remember how it was, like, discovering Prague? Like, because of course your friend maybe already had a life here, but then it's something else to, like, arrive and create a life of your own. Like,
I can say I had it quite easy because, like, as I said, my good friend was already here, meaning that when I arrived to Czech Republic, I already had resolved where I'm gonna stay, like who am I gonna live with and all these things. And I immediately was introduced in a group of almost 10 Greek people that they were hanging out all the time. So that made my adaptation here quite easy. And okay, then it was just a matter of time of going around, which is quite easy in Prague.
Yeah. Are there many Greeks people in Prague? Like, I don't think I've met any.
Yeah, I don't think that we are one of the biggest like expat groups of Prague, but there are quite a lot of Greek people. It's quite often that I meet randomly people, and they are not tourists. It's people who actually live in Prague. But let's say certain companies, like the one I joined back then, they had also a lot of Greek people already working. So yeah, like there is a small community, Greek community here.
How come this company was like recruiting Greek people? Do you know?
I don't know about that. Like,
It's just like networking and
yeah, I think it's mostly about Greek people start referring their friends, like my friend did for me, and getting more and more of them here. Yeah.
okay, cool. Do you remember like the first Czech person you talked to?
Mm. First Czech person, I believe it would be my first manager in Czech Republic. Yeah.
Any like kind of first impression?
Okay. For sure, I wasn't expecting them to be in the same mentality like Mediterranean people. So I was expecting something that it's gonna be more, as people usually try to like explain it, like colder or more distant or something like this. But okay, I have to say that it's definitely not what I expected. Like, I have the feeling that if you have someone to introduce you to Czech people, they are actually very friendly and they're trying to be helpful, and they are curious to talk with you and yeah, have a discussion with you for sure.
I have a friend who always consider two groups of Czech people, like the Czech people that lived abroad for a bit, and for them it's easier like to relate to each other and connect to each other, and then other Czechs that maybe haven't like lived abroad, and
Mhm.
so yeah, it's like step one and step two. Like,
I see. Well, from my workplace mainly, that's the place that mainly I come in touch with Czech people. I can say I've met both types, but I don't think I felt like there is a difference between them. I think the limitation is mostly about whether they are comfortable in speaking in English or not. Yeah.
for sure. I came here for an internship in 2017, I think, just for 2 months. And then I left and I was living near Pankratz or something.
Mhm.
And I remember going like to the mall and I wanted to buy like some camera, I think. And there like nobody spoke English, like not even a word, you know. Actually, today I was at the Czech post office, and on this podcast we talked about the post office, I think, several times, because it's always a pain to get something. And also for Czech people, like my Czech friends, when they go to the post office, there's always something going wrong. And
Mhm.
today the lady like directly saw my passport, French passport, and she switched to English. And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's so nice of you. And like we chatted about like, I don't know, a few things. And it was like really nice experience because I just came back from 2 weeks in like a rehabilitation sports center for my knee, where I asked before, I was like, okay, is it possible to get the rehabilitation in English?
Mhm.
And the reception was like, I think it's possible. And then I get there, no one speaks a word of English. And I'm like, God, I'm here for 2 weeks. And I get around with Czech, but like speaking constantly for 2 weeks was like not super easy. So yeah, it was just refreshing this morning at the post office to like finally hear a Czech person speaking English to me.
I see. I see. Well, since you mentioned the post office, like usually I go there when I have a registered mail to pick up. By the way, I don't speak Czech. I can say very simple stuff like Dobrý den or very simple stuff. So usually I go there, I say Dobrý den, and I just put down the paper from the registered mail with my passport, and we don't have to interact anymore. There's nothing to say. But the thing is that in Czech language, Greece, it's called Rzeczko. And the passport, like, I don't even remember if it says Greece on top. Probably it says Hellas. Okay.
Yes.
So every time I go there, they open the passport and they are trying to find the country. And I see that they are struggling with it. So at some point I will tell them like, hey, it's Rzeczko. And like, Rzeczko again. They move forward. Last time that we went there, the lady was doing something and I thought that she's struggling with the same thing. So I said to her, Rzeczko. And she turns to me, yeah, I know, you're from Greece. So suddenly, yeah, I had a person there who was speaking English, which was the first time, I believe, in my case.
Yeah, we're kind of becoming robots with our Czech where you're like, there's some interaction, it's the same every day. So you go and you're like, okay, I know what I'm going to say. I know what they're going to reply. I know what I'm going to say it back. But sometimes it just like shifts and they add a word or they add a question. And then you're like, oh, okay, like
Yeah. Yeah.
harder than I thought. But it's great. I learned 2 new words in my 2 weeks of Czech stay at the sports center, which is držíme a povolíme. It's like, because we did a lot of exercise and držíme is like hold
Uh-huh.
and povolíme is like relax.
Okay.
So
I
like
see.
when you're like doing any kind of fitness exercise. So that's my Czech lesson of the last 2 weeks. But did you try to learn Czech at some point or were you straight away?
Yeah, like back in 2023, I actually attended 3 like classes that was like a set of classes for 3 months. But and I think it was going actually quite well, but then I had planned some trips, so it didn't make sense for me to like buy the next set of classes. And after that, I never found the motivation to actually go back. Yeah.
Makes sense. It goes by waves. But I've always been lucky, like, to have my company pay for some lessons. I guess if I had to pay myself, I would have gave up a long time ago
Hmm.
because I'm not that passionate, like,
Okay.
about Czech language. But I'm like, right now, if I have it for free, like, why not?
Yeah, yeah. I remember the first year, the company that I was working, it was offering 1 hour of Czech class for free every week. And probably, because it was free and there was you didn't have an obligation against it. Like I didn't feel motivated to actually study. So every time I will show up and I wasn't prepared, I didn't study the things from the previous class and stuff like that.
Okay. And in school back in Greece, like, did you learn any languages?
Yeah, like in a Greek school, typically they are teaching English. I don't remember until which grade you are getting taught only English, and then you have the option between French and German. I picked up as a second foreign language German, but I never really learned it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Didn't push you to go to Germany.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
How is it, by the way, in France? Like,
Pretty similar. Like you learn English I would say very soon, but maybe not soon enough. So yeah. But I've always liked languages. So I speak quite good Spanish and English. But for some reason, yeah, I moved here, Czech Republic. So yeah, but I don't think the Spanish way of life would fit me. I guess the Czech one fits me more. And
really?
yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Because I did an internship in Spain in my studies. So I was there maybe for a month. And, like always talking loud and like living late at night is just not for me. I think I don't feel comfortable.
Okay, I see.
So yeah. 7 years here. Do you have like any like main lessons or highlights in these 7 years?
Okay, well, I definitely grew a lot professionally. I guess also moving to Czech Republic gave me the opportunity to be really independent and to make my own decisions. So that probably gave me the opportunity to develop as a person. Yeah, like I would say like that.
Because like I'm curious to go back to how you announced to your dad that you're moving to Czech Republic. Like, did you like tiptoed around? Like, what did you know about this whole process? And
For sure, I knew that it's gonna be a difficult thing for him to accept that I'm gonna move out of Greece in general.
And how old were you when you moved?
28. Yeah. Already from April, when I came here to visit my friend, I told my dad that I will go to check out how Prague is because I'm considering to move there. So he cannot claim that he wasn't aware of it. Then during summer, I started doing job interviews online. And yeah, it's not something that I was keeping him in the loop. I didn't see the point. So yeah, when I got the job offer and I'm like, okay, perfect, I'm moving to Prague. I booked out the flight tickets, and I just went to my dad and I told him, look, I got the job offer. And on that date, like I think it was 1st of October, I'm going to Czech Republic.
Oh, wow. So when you told him, you already had the tickets and everything.
Yeah, I was
That's
already booked.
Wow. But so you were not living in the same city as your dad, right?
No, we were living together back then
Okay.
because like from 2000, 2007 until January of 2018. I was living in Corfu Island, but then I went back to Thessaloniki with the plan that, okay, I have to finish like my PhD studies, like to write down the thesis, and then let's move out. So, yeah.
Okay, crazy. And in your mind, like, were you living for good? Like, were you expecting to stay so long in Prague, or were you just like, oh, maybe it's a 1-2 year thing?
In my mind, I was determined that I'm moving out from Greece for good, with no plan like, yeah, let's see how life is in another country for 1-2 years and then go back. No. When I came to Prague, I wasn't with the mindset that this is gonna be only a short time of period that I'm gonna be here. Neither I was already, I didn't decide that I will live my life in Prague. Okay, so I was in the state that, okay, let's go, let's have fun, if possible, and we'll see. Yeah.
Nice. Because it was really not fun anymore in Greece. Like, do you sometimes miss it?
For sure, I'm missing my family, like my dad and my sister. I miss my real close friends. But in every other aspect, at least back then, I was struggling quite a lot. Like, I didn't even feel that I was independent, even though I was working. At the same time, like, I still had to depend on my dad for some financial support. So I was really struggling with it. What am I doing here? Like, I have to go somewhere else. That's not the place for me.
Yeah, you had a feeling that there's something more to be done.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Definitely.
I can't imagine how is this feeling that you know that you're leaving for good. Because in my experience, when I moved here in 2018, it was for a contract of like 2 years. I was like, I'm going to do 2 years and then probably come back to France because I never really thought of moving somewhere for good. Like, I like having different long experiences in foreign countries, but in my head, I'm always like, but France is my country. But I don't know, Prague just surprised me more. And since I was starting my career as well, I had like more opportunities here because at the end of this 2-year contract, I was working for the French embassy. My contract was ending and I was like, okay, I still like it here. So I'm going to apply to some jobs here, but I'm also going to apply to some jobs in France. And then we'll see where life takes me, basically. I think just from like a year, I'm starting to be like, okay, I could be here. Full-time, I don't know what's the expression.
Yeah,
I'm not maybe not
permanently.
thinking about moving back to France. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think in one of the previous episodes, you also mentioned that every time you say to yourself, like, another 2 years and let's see,
Yes.
another 2 years and let's see. And
It's also like a safe thing to say, like, because I hate in my life being stuck in anything, you know?
Mhm.
It's like I want to be in decision of everything I do and no one's going to tell me what to do. So like just saying like another 2 years, it gives me like the possibility of people around me be like, maybe I'm not going to be there all the time, you know, and I'm still the one deciding for myself.
Okay.
It's how I work. But yeah. Cool. And are you still in touch with like your friend? Because like maybe you grew apart or...
Yeah, like, funny thing is that my friend, I think 1 or 2 years later, he left from Prague.
No!
Yeah. It was really difficult for me,
Oh,
like,
God.
but okay, it was his decision, and we're definitely still in. Actually, even during summer, we met in Corfu. Like, yeah.
How come he left?
Well, I think it was something regarding his personal life, and he wanted to go back to Greece.
Okay.
But funny thing is that he's right now living in Luxembourg.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's still like...
Yeah, like, he was like, I will go back to Greece to figure out some things, but let's see. So eventually, yeah.
Did he ask you to come to Luxembourg?
No.
It's okay. Is it independent now?
Yeah.
Cool. And how has so you said like your first integration in Prague was like with a group of like 10 Greek people, but how does it look like today, like your life in Czech?
Well, from these 10 Greek people right now, I think it's only 3 of us still in Prague. The rest either went back to Greece or to some other place in Europe. But yeah, like right now my circle consists of quite a few Czech friends that we're hanging out like almost every week. And then some, I would say, international friends that I met through the dancing community here in Prague.
What's your like favorite thing about Czech culture, let's say,
Hmm.
or like Czech Republic as a country?
Okay, favorite thing, like, okay, I will not say the beer because I think it's a very, very trivial response, but something that I really appreciate from the Czech culture is the fact that people don't really pay attention what other people are doing. They mind their own business. What I mean is that, for example, in Greece, at least while I used to live there, like you feel that you are constantly judged. Like people are looking at you and they're like, what is he wearing? Why he's wearing this thing? What car you're driving? And not only like thinking internally these things, they might even come and tell you like, hey, Margot, why are you wearing this sweater today? Like you should be wearing something different or something like that. Here in Czech Republic, people mind their own business. They don't really care what you're doing as long as you're not irritating them or generally the people around you. And that's something that I really appreciate in their culture. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, coming back to the post office today, I arrived and there was a lady screaming in the post office like for like 10 minutes, all in Czech, and everyone was minding their own business and just continuing, like I'm here for the post office, and no one was like, what is this girl doing, So
Yeah.
yeah, that illustrates it pretty well. My favorite thing here, I never think about my answers in the podcast. I'm like, oh, what could it be? I think just that the country's like pretty small. So you can get to see like different stuff like very quick. And I've been here 7 years and I still haven't been to like all of the places because like there's so many things to do in Prague that you get caught up in like this Prague life and then you forget to explore like the rest of the country. But it would be the same everywhere because in France I haven't seen like 20% of it. So
yeah. That's true. It's really easy to move around, especially if you just take a train and 1 hour later you can be in some completely different place than Prague.
yeah. All right. What other questions do I have? Sometimes I forget.
I don't think I introduced myself.
Oops.
If this is required, I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Hi, my name is Constantinos. I'm from Greece, Thessaloniki, which is a town on the north part of Greece. I spent like almost 10 years in Corfu Island where I was studying and I even started working. And yeah, back in 2018, I moved to Prague.
Perfect. Is there anything in those 7 years in Prague that you're like, oh, I haven't done it and I really want to do it?
I never thought of that.
I have another
I
question.
really got blocked on that.
That's a
I didn't think
I
of
have
something.
another question is, do you think you would be able to start over, like move, like your friend? Do you think you would be able to move again somewhere?
Yes, like I already have done it, let's say, twice. Once when I moved to Corfu from Thessaloniki, and then when I moved to Prague. It's not really looking forward to do something like this. I really enjoy life in Prague, but yeah, if there was some amazing opportunity, probably I would be able to do that again.
What would be an amazing opportunity?
Oh, that's no, like I love Japan, but I think it's only for vacation for me. Amazing opportunity. I cannot really say a specific country. That's why also I don't actively think of moving out of Czech Republic because there is no such a place that I will tell you, yeah, I would like to move and live in London or in Berlin or anywhere. I don't have such a place in my mind. But okay, if it was some career opportunity with some life-changing salary, let's say, yeah, I would really consider it.
Interesting. Sometimes I ask myself the same question and same, I have kind of similar answer. Like if like nice opportunity comes up, why not? But then I'm like, really, what would make me live here? Because I'm not so much career oriented. Like I have a job I like, I have a good salary, I'm happy with it. But I'm like, okay, maybe if you offer double salary, but I'm like, is that even worth it? Because I really like my life here. So let's see. Like if something comes around the corner, I think you can only decide like when you have the choice like in front of you, and because right now I really don't know what would happen.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Like, as I said, I'm really happy with my life in Czech Republic. The only thing that keeps this window open in my mind that, yeah, like if there is such a good opportunity, I will most probably take it, is when I take a look in the real estate market in Prague, in Czech Republic, but mainly in Prague. Because, yeah, like after 7 years living in Prague, of course, I have this thought in my mind that maybe you should actually buy a flat, a house, something instead of being on rent. But yeah, you look on the market and it doesn't look very nice.
No, yeah, I wish I had bought something like 7 years ago, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
So here's. But is there any way like you can buy something back in Greece? And I mean, I understand your point of view, of course, but maybe there's like other way.
Well, I don't get how you mean it. Like buying something back to Greece, let's say buy a flat back to
Yes,
Greece.
rent it. No.
To have some passive income, like
Yeah, I mean,
from there.
because
Well, yeah, that could work, but still, I don't think if you compare like the market in Greece and the market in Czech Republic, it's in completely different levels. So I think it would be better to invest the money instead of buying something in Greece to invest it here and try to pay out the loan.
makes sense. Would you be able to live like in another Czech city than Prague? Like, have you considered it?
I've thought of that quite many times, and I don't think so. But honestly, I didn't do a thorough research on it. Like, I will still like to be in a multinational environment, and Prague it is a multinational environment where I will be comfortable to speak English on the street, so the stores, to find people that they are also looking forward to speak in English with someone. So I think it would be difficult to live to some other city in Czech Republic.
Yeah, it's definitely another life. But I see like a bunch of people on Instagram, like Brazilian people outside of Prague, Zane or Bruno, maybe studying medicine. Then there's some American also living in the countryside, and they seem to get along because actually the American one, she doesn't speak Czech, I think. But yeah, I'm also asking myself sometimes, and because I'm like, yeah, maybe I could do it, and I would also like save money probably. And then, I spend a weekend somewhere, and I'm like, no, I think I miss Prague. So yeah, I agree. Any other things you're like still struggling with in Czech Republic?
No, like there is this rare occasion that I will have to interact with some public office in Czech Republic. And if I go there on my own, it's not gonna go nicely, most probably. But I have to say that most of the time, like either a friend will join me or a friend will be standby on the phone. So yeah, it's not gonna be that difficult. Like I think I have quite adapted in Czech Republic, even though I don't speak Czech. I'm no longer struggling with that.
Okay, nice. If you could change something in Czech Republic, like what would it be?
Well, if I could change something, it's maybe the only thing that it is giving me a little bit trouble about the Czech culture is, I would say, the drinking culture. Okay, I hope my Czech friends will not be mad with me. It's not that like I have this opinion that like a lot of Czech people are alcoholics or something like this. No, definitely not. I just see that there are some people struggling with alcohol and they are using as an excuse the fact that, it's drinking culture.
Yes.
Well, in my eyes, no, sorry, it's not a drinking culture that at 8 a.m. in the morning, you're like, I need to have a beer. Like, that's not a cultural thing. That's a problem. So it is getting masked behind this excuse that, yeah, it's the drinking culture that we have here.
And do you see this in like all ages or like mostly like older ages?
I would say I've seen it in all ages. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but how, I don't know if that's a good question, but how does it impact you like every day? Oh, no, you said like it's something to change though.
Yeah, it doesn't impact me. It's just that it's the people that they live around me, okay? Like if the people around you are not happy, you are eventually not gonna be happy. So Thankfully, I don't see it in my circle, but it's many occasions that I have witnessed this.
Okay. Actually, I'm flying to France tomorrow for the holidays,
Mhm.
and I know I'm gonna be drinking more in
Oh, yeah.
France because, yeah, I don't know, like my parents think like I drink all the time in Prague, but I'm really not. Like maybe in the summer a bit more, or like maybe in the first years a bit more, but like right now, I honestly don't drink so much.
Mhm.
But I know like back in France, like there's always like someone coming to your house and like coming for a drink, and then you go for a bar with someone. So yeah, it's also strong in France, I would say,
I see.
especially in the north of France. It's a cliche, but
Mhm.
not so much of a cliche.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it in the north like a biggest production of wine or
Beer.
beer? Okay.
Beer, and I don't know, there's the cliche of like, okay, it's cold and like we're closer to Belgium, so we have a lot of Belgian beers, and it's also a little bit more poor region than others. So poor region get to alcohol or something. I mean, in the past now it's better, but still like very big industry of like beer productions, and there's like beer breweries everywhere. A bit like here, kind of.
I see.
But yeah, stay a healthy relationship with alcohol. Important.
Yeah, of course.
Look at us, like promoting a healthy consumption. Nice. If you could relive one day in Czech Republic, which one would it be?
Definitely would be the day that I fall in love with Prague. It was on April of 2018 when I visited my friend. Like I had so much fun that day that I remember in detail this day. Like it was very nice weather. It was very and we were in Naplavka in one of the boats that you can they have a beer garden on top of the boats actually. We were a group of 6 people and we spent there almost 7 hours just drinking beers, eating food, and I had so great time over there. And really that day I said to myself, okay, the place is fantastic. You should move here.
Sounds lovely. Like I love those spring days in Prague. Like so when winter is over and you have like this first sun in Naplavka or anywhere, like it just feels so good, and you're like discovering the city again, kind of. And it's like, oh wow, I'm so lucky to be here. I have these moments like every spring, I think, or like whenever there's a nice sunset somewhere. Nice. Yeah. Okay, I think I've asked everything I wanted to. Is there anything you're thinking about?
I just a thought popped in my mind when you said exploring Prague, and I thought that the best period of exploring Prague, it was during the quarantine time. I remember walking in the streets in Prague one, near the Orloj, and it was so empty, but at the same time so beautiful that you can no longer see that with the people around. You really can experience the architecture in a different way when it's empty like that.
And I think rediscovering the city empty, I was like, okay, I feel like a local now because it's quarantine and everyone is there in their own country pretty much and own home. And I'm like, okay, I'm in quarantine in Prague. It means like I'm a local here. And I guess from this point I was like, okay, I'm a little bit of a local. So yeah, it was really, really amazing. Yes. Do you think change your personality in some ways?
Yes, for sure. It's completely different environment than living in Greece. So I believe there is the lack of stress and rushing that we have in Greece. Here things are more calm. For example, even with simple things like transportation, most of the time you're gonna be on time where you have to go, so you don't have the stress. So in Greece, it's not like that. You are in a different environment that you need to rush. You are in a little bit more pressure. So this, I believe, it made me a little bit calmer as a person. And whenever I'm facing some issue, to really take my time and try to figure it out instead of rushing into, okay, there is some problem, let's try to resolve it immediately. Yeah.
Interesting. And you also mentioned like in Greece, like a lot of people are like judging or like giving your opinion without asking. Were you like this as well? So,
I cannot really say, but if, let's say, some of my close friends came here and told you, yeah, he was like that, I wouldn't try to like prove him wrong.
okay, interesting. So basically, Czech Republic made you a better person.
I believe it improved me.
It's also like growing old and everything.
Yeah,
It's a bit of-
definitely. Yeah.
Nice, cool. What else do we have? Just making sure I don't forget anything you said. Because then every time I edit the episode,
Mhm.
I re-listen to everything you said. And then I'm like, oh, I should have asked a follow-up question on this. Like, it would have been
okay.
interesting to like dive deeper. But right now, we talked about friend, work. We didn't talk about your work so much, but
No, I mean, like, I remember in previous episodes, for example, I don't remember their names, but there is this guy who is a baker, like,
Yes.
he runs his own business. That's interesting. Like, I'm a pretty boring IT person working in a company.
no, but that's also like what I want more on this podcast. Because, like the first episode, she was opera singer. The second one, like a baker, like who studied medicine. Like it was a bit of crazy stories. And then there was like also like what's normal people, like just like me that have 9-to-5 job and or just living Prague life otherwise, so
Yeah.
nothing boring. That's I think IT is interesting. So
Yeah, okay. Like I'm working, when I say I'm working on IT, I'm working with AI. Like my role is of a data scientist. It's definitely something that it's interesting to me. That's why I'm on this role. But
is it a Czech company?
can I say the name or it's
I mean, it's up
like,
to you.
okay, like I don't know, maybe we're against of advertising or
Oh no,
something
no,
like
it's
this.
fine.
It is a multinational company. It's actually a marketing company called VML.
Okay.
And yeah, like I'm a data scientist in their data team because nowadays every company needs to work with data, needs to work with AI. So yeah.
Yes. What's your feeling about AI?
Well, like any other technological advancement, it is an amazing tool, service, call it whatever you want, that it can really improve the human daily life, quality of life, can improve your business, can improve a lot of things. But as any other technological advancement is about how you're going to use it. And yeah, like my feeling is definitely positive, but we have to be careful about how are you going to use it. Like nuclear energy, it's an amazing thing. You can create bombs with it, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So thank you again for coming. Oh no, we forgot the wish.
Yes.
I mean, I forgot. So the tradition is like for every guest to blow the candle and make a wish, and hopefully it becomes true to you. And if it does, you can come back on the podcast and tell us all about it. So whenever you're ready, you can make a wish.
Okay.
Nice. All right. Congrats. And see you around.
Yeah. Thank you very much again for the invitation. Yeah. Looking forward.
Thank you.